Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing okay, even if we live in most difficult times right now. I want to talk about overcoming trauma or overcoming grief. Even the expression overcoming grief is a difficult one. But one of the emotional healing methods I want to share is grief is one of the ones that we find very difficult, because grief is a natural human condition. Everybody, hopefully, in their lives, they will feel grief. It's part of the human condition. And if we can think of it as not an illness or a sickness or a trauma, that doesn't mean, having said that if we're feeling grief, we're not in some way traumatized by it. But it's not the same as trauma of deep, abuse or anything like that. This is a natural process to feel grief. Indeed, if we didn't feel grief, we'd begin to ask, well, are we a little bit shut down? Is there something happening here that isn't healthy? Because grief brings us, there are many reasons for grief, but whatever the reasons are, if we didn't feel grief, as I said, we would not be human at some level. And so the title "Overcoming Grief" isn't a particularly good one. But I'll just talk a little bit about the best ways to overcome grief. Number one, let it flow through you. Feel it. Don't push it away. Do not push it away. Some cultures, and I know this from my own life, and I wrote about it in the songs, in all the books, but in The Soul and the Sea, the recent one, some cultures work very well and allow grief and understand that it's a natural process for humans to feel grief at times. Other cultures, sometimes the Western culture, can not be great on this. It's like, oh, give them time. But, sometimes there isn't as much of an acceptance of grief being natural, and therefore the person needs to be allowed to go through it. Now, the second thing to remember is there's no set time. Everybody's different. Some people's reactions, say, to the death of a partner or a breakup, some people will go numb or will go into reactive mode. As I said in another video about healing childhood trauma, we do tend to push things away so that we can try and be normal, so-called. So the thing is to allow it to come up. Give it a little bit of time each day. And also remember if it's a breakup or a bereavement, remember the good things. Remember and connecting with nature. It's not to take you away from it. You might see a bird suddenly alighting on the bush in front of your home and singing, and it might bring you straight back to a memory of sitting out there with your late partner, having tea or whatever it might be. And that will bring you to your heart. See, grief brings us to our heart. It makes us connect, or it calls us to connect with our heart. Because remember that within our heart is also this beautiful divine inner wisdom and inner healer. Sometimes, and some of the mystics speak about this all the time, sometimes grief comes to shatter our hearts, to make room for more, to be more open. There are many, and I don't have one at hand, but Shatter My Heart, I think it's Rumi, or it's a Sufi, actually it's a Sufi thing. Shatter my heart so there can be more room for God's love. So sometimes this is just what we need to open up. It helps us to open to life, and to open and to gratitude, to appreciation of life, of love indeed. So, and I can speak from the loss of, I've had several, like many others in my life, losses, and even the loss of a young child or a baby in the womb. I will do a separate video about this. So allow it to flow. Don't try and push it away. And also give it its own time. Give it its own time. And naturally realize it's a natural process. Meditation as well. Meditation and anything that helps, like writing out, looking at photos, making a little book, whatever it is. Don't try and push it away. Just remember it's natural. It's a natural flow of life. And sometimes it comes, more often than not, it comes to open us up to something even more wonderful, something more, to really wholly appreciate our lives. If you like this video, I will talk more in the future. I'll have more videos on healing. Do press the like and subscribe button, and I am delighted you're here, and please leave comments if you feel inclined to, and I'll see you again soon. Namaste.